So here is a very important question. If the Bible teaches that we are saved by grace through faith and not of works, as we can clearly see that in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 and 9. So why then does James say faith without works is dead? Are these two statements not contradicting each other? The simple answer to that question is no, they are not contradicting each other. And actually, if you really understand these two statements, you will see that they complement each other. Both James and Paul were addressing different issues. Paul was talking about salvation as a free gift which cannot be earned by doing good deeds. Whereas James was talking about the fruits of our faith. In other words, the corresponding actions that result from our faith. So let's look at these scriptures closely so that we can take a deep dive into them. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 and 9 says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith. And that not of yourself, it is a gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast." So, salvation is a function of the grace of God. It is not of works. Works here simply means any human effort or action done to earn, deserve, or secure salvation. So anything you're doing to earn or secure your salvation, that is what is considered as works. Grace, on the other hand, amongst other things, means God's unmerited favor. It is not something that you can earn. And that's why the Bible is saying salvation is a free gift from God. It is by grace that we have been saved. It is not something that we can earn by our good deeds. So when we say it is of grace, it means that our good deeds cannot earn us our salvation. There's a particular Bible verse that explains this perfectly. Romans chapter 11, verse 6. It says, "And if by grace, then it is no longer of works. Otherwise, grace is no longer grace. But if it's of works, it is no longer grace. Otherwise, work is no longer work." What this is simply saying is that anytime we say something is of grace, then it is no more of works. If it is of grace, then it is not something that you can earn, it's not something that you deserve, or it's not something that you can secure. In the context of salvation, when we say we are saved by grace, it means that it is not something that we can earn with our effort, it's not something that we deserve, or it's not something we can secure by ourselves. It is a gift of God as a result of the grace of God. Anytime we mention grace, then we cannot talk about human effort or human labor to deserve or secure it. It is something that is freely given to us by God. And on the other hand, if you say it is of works, then it's no longer of grace. To put this simply, God's grace is sufficient in and of itself without requiring human effort or human contribution to secure it. So if it must remain as grace, then human effort to earn it is no longer required. You cannot consider something grace when an individual can boast about something they did to merit that grace. That's what the Bible is saying here. If you consider it grace, then it's no longer of works. It's no longer of what you did to earn it or to deserve it or to secure it. So once it is grace, it means it is a free gift. On the other hand, if you say it is of works, then it's not of grace. You can't mix grace and works. They don't go together. One is undeserved, unmerited. The other is something you do to deserve or merit your position. But our salvation is actually of grace and not of works. But if we go to James chapter 2, verse 17, it says, "Thus also, faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead." What is James trying to say here? Faith without works is dead. It means faith without corresponding actions is dead. That simply means your corresponding actions are the things that shows your faith. If you profess faith, your faith is going to prompt you to take certain actions. And when you are not taking those actions, it shows that your faith is dead. If a person claims they believe in God, that profession of faith is going to lead to certain actions. Now, those actions are not what makes you saved, because if you are already saved, your works didn't save you. So what James is saying here is that if you claim to have faith, your faith must be accompanied by corresponding actions. Your faith will prompt you to act in a certain manner that anybody will see that you are acting in faith. Just like Abraham, when Abraham believed in God, he showed it by his corresponding actions. And also in that passage, it talks about the story of Rahab. Rahab believed in the God of Israel, but her belief in God prompted certain actions that solidified her faith and that makes it obvious to anybody. Your corresponding actions are the fruit. They are not the root of your salvation. So the root of our salvation is God's grace. But if we receive the grace of God, it is going to produce the corresponding actions in us. And those are the fruits that are being manifested in our life. And that's what the Bible calls good works. Our good works or our good deeds does not earn our salvation. But those are what we do when we are saved. Those are what we do that reflect the internal state of our salvation. We can see this perfectly stated in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." So we are already saved, but we are recreated in Christ Jesus unto good works. We are saved unto good works. Once we are saved, then the corresponding actions are the good works that we engage in. Now, those good works are not what saves us in the first place. What saves us is the grace of God. What this is saying is, works are not the cause of our salvation. They are the effect. Once we are saved, the effect of the salvation is it produces in us desires to do good deeds or good works that God himself has prepared beforehand for us to do. So those good deeds are not what saves us. Those good deeds are just the result or the fruits of our salvation. So here is the big idea. Paul tells us how we are saved by grace through faith. James shows us what our faith looks like when it is real. It moves us to action. So they are not contradiction, just two sides of the same coin. I hope this video has helped you. And if it does, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notification so that you don't miss any video again. God bless you.